So why do you do 2 podcasts?
Because the first one is to get to know the person, and then the second one is like, oh, now that we're comfortable talking to each other, it's sort of both for me and the listener. That like, for me, it's being comfortable with the person. Sometimes I'll bring in people that I don't even know and haven't really talked to them until the podcast itself.
Yeah.
I like that bracelet, by the way. It's made of guitar string.
It was making noises. I got really annoyed.
So, like, for example, whenever I had a Space Release on, I had Grayson and Walt, but, like, I didn't really know both of them at all, nor did I, like, really know their names. And so, like, you can actually even hear in that podcast that I went, like, hey, this is Grayson, and I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
That's funny.
But, so it's like to get to know people.
Okay.
So then for the second one, whenever we have a free form conversation, kind of like more open podcasts, it becomes a little bit more comfortable to talk rather than just, yeah, so this is what you do. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's why I like having both, because it helps to, again, get to know a person to their root with the first one. But then the second one allows us to reach whatever sort of stratosphere that we can.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to mention about how, like, you just asked me about I'm playing with a band and that whole thing. How do you feel with that band dynamic? Because I'm thinking we're having the same thought in that it's weird to be your name, but also have other musicians with you and be like, no, but it's all me, but it's also them, but it's all me.
It was hard.
Yeah.
So, like, what we mentioned a little bit ago, Zora with an X. So, these guys I've been playing with for, I guess, 3 years now. But, like, at that point, it was, like, a year and a half. And I was like, okay, well, they're still not feeling as involved as they could be. And that was, like, right after the release of Love. And most of them played on Love.
Yeah.
And the Love EP was cool because it gave us a chance to grow in the right direction, but there still wasn't the accountability being felt.
Yeah.
So Zora with an X was kind of meant to kind of open it up for them to be able to feel committed and accountable for being a part of the band instead of just being in the band.
Yeah.
It's like, I know there's studio musicians and there's, bands. And what I wanted was the feeling of, like, a family band, but, like, with obviously my songs. Yeah. I like them. Yeah. I guess they kind of like them since they've been playing them for so long. But I wanted it to be open to where all of us felt included. Yeah. Because that was really important to me. And after playing as Zora with an X for a while, it still didn't seem like they felt included. They still felt like I was just hiring them every show. Sure. Which, I mean, we're at like 3 years now. And so it was hard for me. I still don't know. Like, I feel like that's a plane that I still need to figure out. Right. Like, I could bring in all the session workers that I want and just have exactly my vision. Yeah. Because I can't play everything. I can't play piano. I can't play drums. So I could always hire people and help them live my vision. Or I could have people help me build the vision, and it could be our vision. Yeah. And I feel like that's what's really hard about being a musician is we're trying to find the line, like, where do you want to be? Yeah. And I feel like that's so vague. Like, you could be anything. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah. And that's something that I've struggled with too, in that I have a tendency, and at least I'm self-analyzing enough to be able to realize it, but I have a tendency to creatively dominate if no one takes charge.
I feel like that's me too. I think we're the same person.
And so, like I played with Don't Tell Dina for a while, and what sort of happened is that they had like a good structure, like we gelled really well as a band. But finishing songs wasn't something they had done really until I joined the band. And whenever I joined the band, I was just like, oh, cool. You have like this sketch of a song here. Now I'm just going to make decisions and finish the song. This is the song now.
Yeah, which that was cool because I think I was at your first show, which is the Halloween bash. Yeah. We played that together. That was really cool.
And so after a while, I was like putting together more songs, and sometimes it was just like, I think a couple instances where I just wrote the whole song. And I didn't feel comfortable doing that because it's like, we're a band, we should all be creatively contributing here. But if some decision wasn't being made, I was just like, all right, then this is the decision then. If no one wants to make the decision, I'll make the decision.
I felt like me doing that came from my management experience, which it could still be coming from that. But I feel like I also take lead on projects that don't seem to be going anywhere. Like, I'll be like, oh, there's no leader. I is leader.
Yeah.
So I could see that too. And I know, like, sometimes, like, over the past few years, like, at ACM, like, I feel like people see me and they're like, oh, she's going to be in charge.
Sure.
We're either out or we're in. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like everyone knows that I have that dominating personality. And sometimes with music, I get stuck inside a box. And I want to be able to explore all the options.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have those musicians that do want to write parts on top of it.
Exactly.
But other instances when you have the specific vision, like, that sounds great and you should just go with that instead.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's so up in the air, like, it could be anything.
Yeah. And there are certain songs that with the band that I've been playing with, like, for example, this Friday we're playing at a family friend's wedding because that's sort of like my wedding gift to her.
Fun.
But it's like 3 of the musicians are not the same.
Yeah.
So, as in the whole rest of the band is not the same band. It's me and then some different people.
And is that under your name? Or
it's still Santiago Ramones. Yeah. I guess it doesn't necessarily matter since it's a wedding, it's a private event, but but it's still different musicians. And there are certain songs where it's like, hey, here's this song, this is what I have for it, here are the chords, the blah, blah, blah. Play something like this during this part. I don't really know what to tell you. I don't have a part to give or any like specific melody to tell you, but just play something. You're a good musician. I trust that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
And that's just where, because I'm not a good guitarist, and so it's like, you know what you're doing. I'm not as good of a bassist as the bassist that I get, and so you know what you're doing. Play the stuff.
Yeah. I feel like not this past festival season, but like last year's festival season, we had a lot of weird like schedule happens things. And so a lot of last festival season, I had different musicians on every show, which was kind of weird. But like the Love EP came out before that. So all of the pre-recorded music, they were able to just learn and play exactly like that, which was nice. Yeah. But like the ones that haven't been recorded, there's a few songs like Misery and Free. There's a new one called She Doesn't Know. It was hard to be able to sit down with them and be like, okay, this is my idea, but like if you have any ideas, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And like for a while, Janos Wozniak was our bass player, and he leads his own band, All for More in Tulsa. But here, because he's more of like a leader too, he was able to bring some pretty good ideas to the table for songs that haven't been in the recording projects yet. So I think being able to have, the strong, like not strong musicians, but the strong leader type and the not strong leader type, because like all A's and B's have to work together. Like we can't all be A's and we can't all be B's.
Exactly.
So I feel like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like as musicians, we just have to figure out, and even in management, like my profession, it's all about figuring out how to make the team gears work. So it's all about what's like best for the team. So, and I think that could deal with anything in life. So.
And how? Because do you also dominate whenever like it comes to studio sessions, or is it just like, oh, I'm not the leader here, I will just let it happen?
No, it's pretty dominating. I feel like even in my friendships and relationships, like I'm still dominating. I don't know. The Love EP, it was, I think, Studio 3, Studio 2. I don't even think it was part of a class. Like, we may have just been doing it for fun. No, it was a part of the class. It was Studio 3 because I was trying to get it out before I went to NAMM last year and played NAMM the year before. Yeah. So, because it's been out for 2 years now, the Love EP. So, it was all like a game of like, how fast can we make this sound good and put it together so I can have it for NAMM. Because like NAMM was a really big thing. So I played NAMM and only 150 people get picked out of like the 3,000 that apply to play.
Right.
So even the fact that I got picked to play NAMM was like really cool. So I wanted, the free download cards ready to go for NAMM. I got put on a stage where there wasn't a lot of traffic. I was in like a hotel bar. So it kind of sucked. Like next time, if I ever get picked again, like I would hopefully want a different stage. Because that wasn't like the ideal location, but at least everything was like planned out and ready to go. Since I'm a planner and an organizer, that makes sense to me. So, but it was fun.
I think about things that way a lot too. I also improvise a lot. Hence the second podcast not being structured.
Great.
But I sort of think about it as a composer, what I do is like I put all of the notes and things in place and then I hit play. Or like same with recording, like you put all the things in place and then you add the fades and the crossfades and the EQ and stuff, and then you hit play. It's sort of like you set up all the things and then you let it happen. So then once it's already happening, it's like, all right, well, I can't do anything about this. I'm just gonna like let it happen. Which helps me to be pretty stress-free because it's like, oh, I know what I'm doing, next week. So I don't have to think about.
And a lot of yours, didn't you do all the instrumentation on your stuff?
Not on my
demo.
Not on my demo.
Okay.
Actually, I played guitar and bass guitar and vocals, but Trevor Lindley played drums because I don't play drums.
Okay. Trevor's great at drums.
Trevor is great at drums.
Yeah.
I've also been wanting to get some like playing with Caden, but he doesn't sleep, so that's
my life.
But I feel like with composing as well, it's just I set up all the things and then I hit play and then like
that makes sense.
I'm free.
Yeah. I feel like I still have to have more control over it than that. But like if I have I can't, I don't know a good way to explain this. I feel like, so I always have the vocals and guitar parts down. Like, these are going to be it. But, before, I didn't know any of the lead parts. So I would be like, here's the rhythm guitar. I need you to make the sound better. Like, you're an actual guitar player and not like me.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of that, I've had a lot of amazing guitar players along the way that have helped me overcome the weakness of my guitar playing, if that makes sense. It's getting better. It's taking a while.
Less open chords.
Yeah. But I feel like without all those great guitar players along the way, like, I wouldn't be anywhere near, like, my original music wouldn't be anywhere near what it is today. So.
Yeah. I'm still using a lot of open chords.
It's
I don't
crazy.
really care, but
it's okay. And I feel like I've gotten a lot more into keys. Because it fills the space where the space was empty before. Because if you listen to like my old singles and my old EP seasons, it doesn't feel complete.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And a lot of that was done at Swing Studios. It was right when I moved back from Nashville. And a lot of it was kind of improvised. Like the studio tech that worked there, he was actually my guitar player at the time.
Oh, yeah.
So they just brought in a whole bunch of studio musicians that I didn't know, and they just played on it. And I was like, okay, sounds good. But, like, the Love EP was the first EP of mine that I was able to make it into something that I wanted. And not like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. Which, like, most of the time I'm pretty laid back anyways.
Yeah.
Like, I've been complimented at the dentist for being laid back. They're like, everyone yells at us. We don't know why, but I never do.
What? Who yells at the dentist? What's wrong with you?
Everybody.
What? I've never heard of that being a thing. No, you go to the dentist, you don't say anything because they have their hands in your mouth, and then you just sit there and what are you going to complain about?
They said everyone complains to them. I mean, it is Dental Depot, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a friend who's a dental hygienist, so I mean.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like there's some aspects of my life where I'm like super laid back and don't need any control. And then there's others when I'm like, oh yeah, I need to control all these things at once. It's just hard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Quick aside, how did you get to play NAMM? Also, you keep going to NAMM. How did you do that as well?
So NAMM is super cool. I love it. So I didn't even know bands could play at NAMM. It's called Bands at NAMM. It's the page you sign up to play on. It rhymes, so it's funny. Yeah. So I was on the phone with my dad, and he was like, hey, there's this really cool thing that you should go to. And I was like, cool thing I should go to? I guess I should go. So I, like, signed up to go, and then he was like, oh, wait, you can play. And I was like, play?
Yeah.
I was like, this sounds great. So I feel like so to apply, you have to, like, put your EP and all this stuff. And I actually applied before the Love EP came out, so I only had seasons in my singles. And I gave them Not That Girl, and I explained to them why I wrote Not That Girl, because it was about women empowerment, and women have the right to say no at any time, which I explained in the first podcast. Yes. And so I think it was really cool because there was a female on the board of electing who gets to play or whatnot. So I think that probably helped my chances, because if it was a guy, you'd just be like, I don't know. Feminist. Just kidding. But yeah, I feel like that probably helped that there was a woman on the board of acceptance.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was really cool. Like, she contacted me personally. And we went out there, and I actually played the day before NAMM started. So we were there super early that week. And it would have been cool if my dad went that time, but he went the following year. But NAMM is, like, super cool. The hotels suck. So hotels are very expensive. Tips if you go to NAMM. Stay within the block or, like, the square area.
Yeah.
Because, like, last year we stayed a mile down the road. And Ubers took like 30 minutes because the traffic was terrible. So I like staying closer, and it's the Anaheim Convention Center, so it's right outside Disneyland. So if you stay like right on the Disneyland line, you can just walk there. Yeah, and it's way easier. Like, we walked 25,000 steps a day.
Cool.
It was crazy. It was so much walking. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you should go.
If you're a musician, you also have to carry guitars and amps.
Oh, it was terrible. So the first year, since we had to take all my stuff, I played an acoustic set, thank God. Yeah. Since we took all this stuff, we had to drive.
Yeah.
Because I'm not about to take my Gibson on an airplane. Yeah. So we drove all the way out there. It's a 24-hour drive, and then we were dead. And then I played the next day, and then we hung out at NAMM for a few days, and then we went to Disneyland. So it was just when you go to NAMM, it's a never stop. It's a never-ending walking thing. Mm-hmm. You just walk everywhere.
Yeah. I would go to NAMM, but I have no money.
That's so sad. It's only $25, not including the hotel.
Right, but going to Anaheim later this year, I'm going to Burbank for
Yay!
Creative Talent Network.
That sounds fun.
Convention for artists, visual artists, because my girlfriend is an illustrator.
Nice.
And I'm going to join her, and I'll just be like, I make music. You know all those animations that you need music for? Yep, that is me. Here's my card.
Yeah. That'll be fun. Are you getting those free download cards?
I'll probably just, I don't know. I could make a separate set of cards that's just here's a promo code for whatever, but all of my music that's out right now, at least, is free anyways, because
I wasn't really into the free download cards until I went to CMA Fest when I lived out in Nashville, and they had guys just standing out. Because have you ever been to CMA Fest?
No.
I don't think a lot of people have.
I don't go anyway.
So it's a country music festival put on in Nashville, Tennessee, the big music city. And what they do is they put stages up on the sidewalks. And they're like, hey, all these famous people are going to come play at these stages. So it's really cool. So they have last year we saw Kelsey Ballerini, Thomas Rhett, Luke Bryan, Lone Star, all the famous country people. The band Perry.
2 names in there.
Yeah, the band Perry, Carrie Underwood, they just play on the side of the street, and it's free. So, there was a lot of people passing out free download cards because they're also musicians in Nashville. Yeah. And they're like, people might listen to my music if it's free, but, not if they have to pay for it. You know what I mean? So, it's another window of opportunity in the marketing industry part of the world. Yeah. So, I thought that was pretty cool. And I've been trying to go back to CMA Fest every year. I've only made it back twice since 2012, and I'm really sad about it. But hopefully I can go back soon. Yeah. And what's cool about Nashville is there's a lot of busking. So even though CMA Fest is going on all around you, there's still people playing on the street busking, and it's super cool. So you can go see real live local people next to the famous people. It's really cool. Yeah. And sometimes I try to busk as well. With my free download cards. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like stage playing and busking playing is very different.
It is.
But you have a powerful enough voice for people to just walk down the street and be like, whoa, what is going on over here?
That's probably what they say.
Well, I mean, that's usually what most people say whenever... There's not a lot of busking down here because Oklahoma hates the homeless. But whenever there is some stuff going on, that really is my train of thought. It's like, oh, what's going on over there?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Those people playing drums underneath the bridge where the train is.
Yeah,
it's very
there's some really cool. Every time I go to Second Fridays in Norman, I think it's Second Fridays. It might be First Fridays. They have these cute little teenagers. And they're playing an entire full band set. Nice. And they're so cute every time. And they're all 10-year-olds. Cool. It kind of reminds me of there was this band out of Coweta called Crooked X, and they were really young. And they played rock and roll. Nice. So it kind of reminds me of the same thing. I don't know, it's just cute. I like to see them. I think in Oklahoma City and Tulsa, you have to have permits to busk on the street.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. So I don't know how we were able to set up the patio stage, but we could do that for all the buskers.
I guess. Maybe we could get together like a busking festival or something.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
All
because
of us
you don't have
buskers.
to set up. Yeah, you don't have to set up stages. It's just like corners.
It would be all for profit.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Just kidding.
No, I guess you could like.
It could be like a benefit show.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of like the art walks, like the Paseo art walk, they should have buskers all the time.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to have to play like forever. But I feel like the older I get, the more I'm into like really short sets. I'm like, you want to give me 30 minutes? Okay, cool.
I actually really enjoy long sets.
No. I feel like, I don't know. So like I started out playing in bars. So like bar shows in Tulsa are 4 hours long.
Oh, jeez.
And it's terrible. And it's just you and the guitar.
That's too much.
Yeah. So like my voice sounded like this after like 2 songs. It was terrible.
Yeah, no. And an hour set is probably my limit. Like I could maybe squeeze out another hour if I had to.
Yeah.
But like an hour set is a comfortable, like I can tell a story through the sequence of the songs. And so since I do such disparate genres anyways, it's like, oh, here's my like indie popish side, and then here's a little bit jazzier, and here's more heavier rock stuff, and so it's like it transitions well. Because I feel like that's a lot harder to do with 30 minutes because it's like boop boop, here's a whole bunch of different things, and I'm just hitting you upside the head with it. And
I feel like that's me too. Like if I go from like Kiss and Tell, which is like super hard rock with like the huge like distortion and guitar solo, into like If I Kiss You Will You Stay, which is everyone's favorite song of all time. It kind of like throws the audience into like a what is going on?
Yeah.
Because it's like it's a cute love song, like that's following in behind like a huge rock song.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we have no clue who this band is. But then I'm up there trying to be like, I want to be everything.
Yeah.
So it makes sense if they know me.
Sure.
But if they don't, they're probably like, who is this girl?
Right. And there's actually something that I've thought about quite a bit as an artist is that I don't want to be in a genre. And sort of like there are artists that have been able to do that. And they just, I mean, like Moby released like a punk album once. That was weird.
Or like Chris Gaines. Do you know who that is?
Isn't that like that country guy's alter ego?
Yeah.
Yes. Toby Keith?
No.
Other country name.
Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
The same thing.
You could be Chris Gaines. Just kidding.
Well, because I think that I've mixed them up in my head because like Toby Keith is like Oklahoma City because like he has the bar and grill over there, but then I also think Garth Brooks because Yukon.
Garth Brooks lived in
Unless
Owasso.
He's from Moore. I can't remember now. No, Toby Keith is Moore, and maybe Garth Brooks is Yukon. That sounds right.
Garth Brooks lived in Tulsa.
I don't know.
He may have lived here too. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like my dad, so my family's always owned like appliance companies. So my dad knows where Garth Brooks used to live when he lived there. And he knows where the Hansons live, and he won't tell me where any of these people live. And I'm like, but Dad, you don't need a privacy agreement.
I mean, it's one thing to like send an email to a musical hero. It's another thing to like call your musical hero. And then it's even creepier to show up at their house.
I feel like that's just me as a person though.
Like a phone call is already weird enough to be like, how did you get my phone number?
Yep.
Well,
that's true.
Thanks. I'm glad you're a big fan. Please don't call me again.
Yeah. Yep. And then they hit block.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why you just call them with a different number the next time. Anyways. But no, I think that there's too much music now to sit in one genre.
I feel that way. Yeah.
Because everything in jazz has been done. Everything in rock has been done. Everything in pop has been done. And so at this point, it's not really about like, oh, I'm going to be a pioneer of rock. It's like, no, rock is dead.
Have you ever heard of Tune Yards?
Yes.
I have no clue what I'm listening to. But it sounds weird and great. I was like, so we were supposed to have that meet and greet with them at Norman Music Festival. And I didn't get to make it because I was playing a show. But I was listening to her music, and I was like, I have no clue what my mind is hearing right now. But I kind of think I like what I'm hearing. So, like, I don't know. I feel like Tune Yards could be a pioneer thing, but I don't know from what.
Sure. And I think that, yeah, I mean, you can definitely drive forward that way and just be like, here's something no one's ever heard.
No one. But I feel that way too. So, like, I can't pick a genre. And I feel like that's what's making me struggle as a songwriter lately because I just don't know, and then I procrastinate.
Yeah.
But I feel also with, I don't know why, but like other musicians, when I see them hop genres, I feel dislike towards them. And like, I don't understand why, like, I could see why they have that problem because everyone wants to be everything probably.
Sure.
I don't know, maybe I'm weird. But, like, just like Cassie Pope, she was on The Voice. She used to be in Hey Monday, which was like a huge pop punk band. So, and then she went on The Voice and she won, and they turned her into a country artist. And like, since then I'm like, who is Cassie Pope? She ain't even Hey Monday no more. Like, so I feel like I have, I'm trying to think of words, but I'm still kind of sick. So, but I feel like not happiness towards artists that try to jump around, but I don't know why I feel that way because I want to be that way.
Right.
So, like, that's like an internal war against myself.
Yeah. Well, I think about that, like, directly with Coldplay or Linkin Park.
When I think of Coldplay, I think of copyright infringement.
From who?
Just everything. Like, Viva La Vida. Some of their songs.
I do remember.
Copyright.
Yeah.
I think The Scientist was
really
caught for copyright. What's their big new one that they released?
The one with Chainsmokers, or
it was on the Colorful album.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but I think that one got caught too. Yeah. Like the same thing with like Ed Sheeran, basically.
Yeah.
Sad day.
Well, I mean, that was definitely. No Diggity and Shape of You and No Scrubs all fall together in the same pot in my mind. It's just like, that's all the same song.
That makes sense. I've never even thought about that. I was thinking about all the others.
Well, sure, but...
yeah, that makes sense.
No, Shape of You, that, like, the bridge.
No Diggity. No Doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. No, I see that now. I never saw that before.
The first time I heard Shape of You, I'm like, this is No Diggity.
Yeah, there's a song by her name's Tove Strike. She's like this weird pop artist out right now. She has this song. I don't remember what it's called, but it's the exact same song as "Send My Love to Your New Lover" by Adele. So like I was hearing the song on the radio and I was about to start singing. It was all you, none of it me, and it was like this Tove Strike song. And I was like, why are none of these words matching up? I was like, this is the exact same song. Yeah. So I like, of course, I had to show everyone the song. And I was like, look, these are the exact same. Yeah. I'm that person.
But I feel like the animosity comes from the fact that we as listeners and consumers, we go, this is a part of me. This is mine.
Yeah.
And so whenever the artist makes a change and goes, hey, we're interested in this thing, or we think this will have more public appeal, or whatever it might be, their reasoning, even if they're actually selling out, which they might be as well. It's more that, no, why are you betraying this thing that I like you for? You are supposed to be this thing.
That makes sense.
But to the artists themselves, they're not supposed to be anything. They were just making music from the get-go, and that's what it ended up sounding like.
That makes so much sense.
Us as listeners go, oh, but you were supposed to be this for me. Linkin Park is supposed to be rap rock. This is why I started listening to you. What is this electronic pop music that you're making? Or with Coldplay, you're supposed to be the singer-songwriter-y British man serenading me with a guitar. And now it's just like, now they're making music with Chainsmokers.
Even like, look at Mumford & Sons. Yeah. Like the evolution of Mumford & Sons is crazy. Like I was listening to their, is it Wider Mind? Wider Mind's the second to last album that they released.
How many albums are there?
Wilder Minds. There's a ton.
Is that their third album?
I think it was. Yeah.
Did it have a fourth album? Did I miss something?
Yeah, they have a new album.
Oh my gosh.
I still haven't listened to it. But like, I feel like the evolution of Mumford & Sons, like it was just a guy with a kick drum and a guitar, and he was like playing. And now it's like all this crazy stuff happening, and I'm like, this sounds really cool, but it doesn't sound like Mumford & Sons. Like I would have thought it was like, I don't even know, someone else.
I always thought that Mumford & Sons was just the sound of Irish brotherhood.
Yeah, that's probably it. I like it. Yeah. But it kind of has like it started out with like a Irish bluegrass rock folk kind of thing. And now it's kind of like full on rock. Yeah. Which is weird. But I feel like what's his name? Nathaniel Rateliff is kind of going in the same direction. Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. Or Rateliff.
I need to listen to more music.
No, it's great. He sings Son of a Bitch. You've never heard of it? It's great. You should look it up. Yeah, but he started out more of like the it was more of like a rock / rockabilly kind of feel, and now it's more like straight rock. Yeah. Like I don't know if that's just easier to produce or.
I think, if anything, it'll become easier to switch genres if you don't release an entire album that's in the same genre.
That makes sense.
And I think that's what I'm going for. Like, my demo does not sit in a genre either. Yeah. And so they transition well as the genre sort of melds into something else. But not sitting in a genre makes you go, oh, I already know that I can't expect anything. Yeah. So.
Well, I feel like that's why the Love EP was so different, because the Love EP doesn't sound like anything I've ever released before. So, like, people are like, oh, she sounds like the Love EP. And I'm like, no, that's not even it. I can do, like, blues. I love Etta James. Like, I really like doing Etta James covers because it shows, like, my vocal abilities. Whereas, like, my songwriting styles, I don't usually, like, reflect those abilities as well as if I was singing someone else's song. Yeah. Because I just don't write that way. And it's kind of like a struggle that I've been trying to get over. Yeah. But I feel like with, I forgot where I was. I feel like with, I don't know, with genre crossing, I feel like if I promote myself as the Love EP, they're not going to see anything but that. Yeah. And I also have a lot of trouble, like, defining what I am, since I can't pick a genre. Sure. People are like, who do you sound like? And I'm like, Rozlyn or Melton. Yeah. Is what I sound like. Yeah. I'm not really sure.
I guess at some point you just start listing your influences rather than saying who you sound like. Yeah. So just name some of the people that you're inspired by. Yeah. And if you name a whole bunch of different people, they're like, cool, I don't know what to expect, but I know all of those things.
Yeah. And I feel like with my film stuff, like, it's the same way, because I don't really look towards any specific person for inspiration. Yeah. But I kind of look within my mind and see what's inside, because it's always different. Like, I feel like my film and music styles are completely different than anyone else's, but they're also the same. It's weird because like I pull inspiration from everything. So I'm just forever absorbing.
The perfect way to transition into what we were originally intending to talk about. What's Melton Media?
Yeah, so Melton Media is my company. It started out as Melton Productions, but I couldn't get the legal name of Melton Productions because there's a Melton Productions in Arkansas.
Darn you,
or
Arkansas.
maybe Kansas. I don't really know. Somewhere.
Kansas or with an R.
Yeah. So it became Melton Media. I realized, so it like popped in my head. I was like, Melton Productions, Melton Records, Melton Creative. I was like, what sounds cool that embodies me as a person? And Melton Media definitely doesn't sound cool. But it's like all the medias. So I'm not defined, and this goes back to like the genre thing too. I'm not defined by a single thing. I am all the things.
Yeah.
So what I really want to look towards is growth. I'm trying to work with as many people right now as possible. So on the photography side, I like to be visually creative.
Yeah.
So I'll just call... I'm not really doing shoots for money right now. Not saying it's free. But I'll like call specific artists that I have in mind and I'm like, hey, I have this idea for you.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in doing this?
Sure.
So like then it's a growing experience on both sides. And I'm not stuck to just one thing because I feel like photographers, they're really important. I have a lot of friends that are good photographers. But all they focus on is photography. And they're down to, this isn't a bad thing, but they like the structure of doing it all like they're supposed to, like they were taught.
Yeah.
Kind of like in the studio. Like most people just starting out in music production, they're going to go straight by the book. Like what I like to do, I didn't really learn by the book. I just do it all free. Yeah. So I kind of like to experiment where others don't go.
Yeah.
Which I think makes it a cool experience. With film, I'm looking more towards music videos right now. I still like doing promo videos because that's super fun. So I'm doing a few promo videos. We're starting to get cooked up on a few music videos. Right now, it is just me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, if someone wanted to help down the road, I could see bringing someone on. But right now, I don't even have a bank account. So, so, like, everything's, like, government officiated. Like, Melton Media is an LLC company now.
Right.
Which is pretty cool. So, it's all legal by the book.
Yeah.
But the creative side is all open and free, which is my main purpose.
Yeah.
And that goes with music too. So like since Keith Lee's EP was such a concept album, like I really want to work on stuff that doesn't sound like something you've heard before.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. We'll see where it takes us.
Yeah. I have a question for you that is not necessarily within the realms of the podcast, so I will ask that later. But why should people make music videos? Because they don't make any money.
They totally don't make any money. I like music videos because it shows creativity. And you can see them as an artist, as a brand, because you are the brand. Not to say that music is just a money-making industry that's ran off robots, but like...
we do need money. This stuff ain't cheap.
Yeah,
Time
like I was just,
free.
So like me and... Have you ever heard of Keena Grannis? So like last night I was showing Kaden Keena Grannis, and it's really cool. Like we learned about her at the Art Institute. So... she made a music video using jelly beans. It's stop motion jelly beans, the entire movie.
Cool.
Like, everyone should look it up. So it took them 2 years to make this music video. She would have had to keep her hair the same for an entire 2 years. That's crazy. I don't understand. But, like, Keena Grannis, she said she wanted to do something that no one's ever done before. So they did stop motion jelly beans. Every single frame in the video was a picture. and then just put all the pictures together. And it's really cool. So I feel like being able to bring your own creativity side to the film production side gives you an advantage that other people might not have, because you might have ideas that other people don't. And I feel like we've been told to steal like an artist. That kind of makes sense. So like we all get ideas from each other.
Yeah.
But how can you put them together to make them different than what other people are doing?
Yeah.
So like I just have all these ideas.
Yeah.
I'm just ready to use them.
Yeah. And that's good. I have a whole bunch of ideas, but no money. And so I just haven't gotten them done yet.
I really just do stuff for fun on my free time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since I work all the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's another question. How do you find time?
It's kind of hard. I think during the summer it's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because usually I have 5 to 6 work days, 1 school day, and then sometimes I make it home twice a month to Tulsa. But most of the time, I just spend all the time that I can doing things that I love to do. Like, if I didn't love being in management, I wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you have to be passionate in everything you put your hands into to be able to do a good job with it.
Yeah.
And that's how I make time for everything.
Yeah.
Because I love it.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
Because people need sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is a goal that you have for Melton Media?
I think a big goal, little goal.
Little then big.
Okay, so I think a little goal would be to at least get like 3 more music video shoots, which right now I'm at like -1. Because they're in the works. They're just not like being completed at the moment.
Right.
So I feel like as soon as I get started with those, I think short term I would want more music videos. And then long term, I would want to set up. I would either want to work as a freelance engineer in other studios. I feel like that would be the more cost effective situation.
Yeah.
Than trying to build my own studio with my own equipment.
That is very expensive.
Yeah, studios are super expensive. So I feel like being a freelance engineer and being able to help artists that know that I'm here to help them, I feel like knowledge is a big part of it. So as long as someone believes in you, they're going to be able to lift you. So I feel like being able to find people that want to work with me, that believe in me, and I believe in them, that makes it even better than me just trying to work for people that I'm just trying to get money from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like from a business standpoint, that's probably not smart, but that's what my real job's for. And I don't know. I just want to see where it takes us creatively.
Yes.
Yeah.
Creatively.
And I could see it growing into a bigger thing. Like anything's possible. So like we could go to blogs, podcasts, news articles. We could do like website.
Yeah.
With like all the news. Like from here on, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Anything media related. If I instantly got good at graphic design overnight, I'd probably do that. But it's never going to happen. Maybe I'll hire someone on.
Yeah. Well, I know some people.
Yay.
And I'm also not that bad at Illustrator or Photoshop.
I'm terrible at it. It takes me a long time. Like, photo editing is easy. Like, I can see it and I can do it.
Yeah,
but, like, graphic design, I can't do it.
Oh, I love it. I used to draw.
Nice.
In, like, middle school and early high school. And then that dream fell by the wayside as I got more into music. Like in like 4th grade or something, I was like, I want to be a comic book illustrator.
Nice.
And that was like my goal up until like the end of middle school. It was like, I don't really know how to live or draw.
Yeah. I can draw stick people.
I actually would like be really good at drawing stick people. Like,
yeah.
that sounds sarcastic, but like there's a whole like style and whatever. It's
yeah. Weird. Growing up, I always thought I was going to be a doctor. In middle school, I got into sports medicine. So I was sports medicine girl for basketball. And I realized it was a ton of different things. So a guy got injured, and I didn't want to wrap him. So I was like, maybe this isn't the best thing. And then I started taking more like science classes, so like anatomy, stuff like that. And I was like, I can't memorize any of these words.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm never going to be a doctor.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be a musician.
Yeah. I have like a visceral thing with blood that like I am not like I mentally am not scared or queasy around blood. But if it happens, my body does it anyways. My body goes, oh, look, blood. Oh, no. And I'll like get like lightheaded and woozy or whatever. But I'm like, no, it's just blood. Stop it. And my body's like, nah, that's blood. You got to freak out right now.
Me, it's more like if people get hurt or faint, I just stand there. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Don't be a nurse.
Yeah, never going to be a nurse.
Helping people through other ways.
Yeah.
The question that I usually ask at the end of the second podcast is, what is some stuff that you've been watching, listening to, or playing, if you play any video games, that you want other people to know about? Short lists.
I've been watching TV show wise.
Yeah.
I've been really into Westworld the past 2 days. I'm getting over strep throat. That's why I sound like a man today. My voice doesn't usually sound like this. So I've been watching Westworld, and it's really cool because it's about like robots. I really like the sci-fi stuff.
Me too.
Because I'm a nerd. Yeah. So I've been watching a lot of Westworld. Lucifer series finale came on last night. Haven't watched it yet, but I hope I'm not gonna cry. New Girls series finale is tonight, so I'm gonna watch it tomorrow as soon as it hits Hulu. And music wise, I've been listening to what's her name? She sings No Roots. It's like a really new artist.
That actually sounds familiar, but I can't remember.
We'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
But, like, she's great. I've been listening to a lot of Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, the new album. I've been listening to a lot of... I've just been putting it on Apple Music, alternative, shuffle. And it's great. So I've just been listening to a lot of alternative music on shuffle.
Cool.
And, of course, I'm always listening to K-Flay, because K-Flay has the realest lyrics ever. Have you ever listened to K-Flay? Okay. So a short story, I think she went to Stanford. So she was actually a literature major. And she never sang, never played anything. It was her sophomore year of college. And she went to an open mic. And she was like, man, this is cool. So it's kind of like slam poetry meets like spoken word, rap, singing. And she's like a white girl that sings over these loops that she's made.
Cool.
And she plays like simple guitar, but she does it all herself, and it's really cool. And she was in Tulsa last month.
That's awesome.
I love her. She has like the quirkiest lyrics, because like I'm really into those quirky lyrics. So, and like they all make sense. Like I listen to it and I'm like, wow, this is real life. So I don't know. It's just really fun, and that's all I've been listening and watching to.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've been. I'm sure, like, if someone wants to keep a tally of the number of times that I say clipping at the end of this podcast, I've been listening to clipping for like over a year now.
Nice.
I'll
have to look them up.
So good. It's David Diggs, who played Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson in Hamilton.
Okay.
Is his rap group. He's the rapper, and there's two producers, and it's harsh noise and some cool rap. And after their first album, he doesn't rap in first person, which is really interesting. But clipping is cool, always making awesome noises. they should have a new album coming out this year. I've been catching up because I'm late. I've been catching up on Kendrick Lamar, which is very good. Also been catching up on Janelle Monáe. Janelle Monáe, every single one of her albums is a concept album, all telling the same story, except for the one that came out recently this year, which is an entirely different concept album, and she made a movie with it as well.
Is that kind of like how Adele, all of her albums are about her ex?
No. All of Janelle Monáe's albums are telling the story of this android named Cindy Mayweather in a dystopian society called Metropolis.
That sounds really cool. I'm going to have to pay more attention.
Yeah. Janelle Monáe is brilliant, and she is more than just music. She is making art, and she is fashion, and she is film, and she's everything. She's also been in movies and TV and stuff. So yeah, she was in Hidden Figures. But Janelle Monáe is excellent. You should watch the movie of Dirty Computers, I think is the and that's pretty much what I've been consuming lately. And then I started watching Mr. Robot. It's really good.
What is Mr. Robot?
It's a it's a show starring a weird dude who is very quiet and reserved and awkward, but he's a hacker, and he wants to take down like a massive corporation and basically wipe out debt.
Nice.
Not by himself, with like this group of like hackers or whatever. But he's also trying to like hold down his day job and make sure that the people that he cares about don't find out and stuff like that. Yeah. But he's also incredibly awkward.
That reminds me of The Handmaid's Tale. I've been watching a lot of that.
Oh, yeah. I've been meaning to watch Handmaid's Tale.
It's great.
I tried reading the book. I just wasn't in the right brain space to read the book. Or listen to the audiobook. Yeah. It was just a little too dry and lengthy for my attention span at the time.
Yeah, I feel like the book, it's really weird because the book is completely different than the series. Like, some of the people are wearing, like, different colored clothes. Their, like, titles mean something different. Yeah. Like, it was kind of hard to match, like, because I'm halfway through the book, but I've watched all, like, the series.
Sure.
So, I don't know. For me, I'd probably start with the series.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty good.
I tried with the book. Maybe I'll have more interest in the book after watching the series.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. But yeah, I'm always digging into science fiction stuff and dystopian cyberpunk stuff. That's my jam. Yeah. Because I recently started watching an anime called Megalobox.
I have not heard of that.
Made by the same people, I'm pretty sure, that did Cowboy Bebop. Huh. But yeah, Megalobox is really good. Yeah, I think that's all I got before I go on any other rants about different stuff. Again, thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you.
I'm Santiago Ramones.
My name is Rozlyn.
Oh yeah, these don't have intros, so this is the first you're hearing of our names. What have I been listening to this entire time? Oh, okay. Plug your stuff.
Yeah, so my music name is Rozlyn Zora. You can find me on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, everything but Pandora, because Pandora has like a weird system you can't set up into. Yeah, so you can find me by Rozlyn Zora, and got some videos on YouTube. They're pretty awkward, so I actually don't watch them. You can check out my Instagram. I try to post minute snippets, and usually they suck, but I'm really bored when I make them, so.
Cool.
They're pretty cool. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And Melton Media also has an Instagram. And
yeah. So I've been posting. I'll post more video projects as they're made. But right now, a lot of the photography is up on the page. So you can go to @MeltonMedia on Facebook and Instagram. I haven't made a Twitter yet, but I will someday.
Sure. Keep an eye out. It might be under the same thing.
Yeah.
So if Melton Media isn't already taken.
Yep.
Those darn bots. Yeah, awesome. Go support awesome music. Rozlyn is an excellent singer, an excellent creator, and you should support local musicians.
Thank you.
Once again, I'm Santiago Ramones.
Hi, I'm Rozlyn Zora.
You can find everything that I do on my website, santiagoramones.com. You can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Stitcher, on YouTube, and on my website. On all of those things, you can leave comments or leave reviews and give feedback or give ideas as to some shows you want me to do or whatever it might be. Feedback. Let me know. I don't know who's listening. And then you can also find music on my website. There's Songs with Words demo on my Bandcamp, which you can leave 0 monies or an exorbitant amount of monies, however many zeros you want to put on that. And some stuff on my SoundCloud, which is not with words as much. I always end my podcast with my 3 things. Those 3 things shape my life philosophy. Those 3 things are: love never fails. It's going to be okay. I might be wrong.